Capri right here, Adam from MPW. What's going on, mate?
Same stuff, mate. Just looking forward to some sleep after this, I think.
Strip show. He's been building the Capri for how long, you reckon?
Look, we've been hitting it hard for 4 months.
Yeah.
We started the car quite a bit of time before that, but it kind of sat in the corner. So we hit it pretty hard for the last 4 months. When I say pretty hard, we haven't had a day off. So.
And here it is, unveil tomorrow, but today we're getting an exclusive look nice and early. What we're going to do, we're going to get me off camera, follow Adam around for a bit, and you're going to give us a bit of a deal, mate, because I know a lot's gone in behind the scenes.
It really has. Look, we've really tried to get attention to detail. Anyone who knows my work knows I'm big on that. It's all the 1%ers that come together and the quality of things when you do it. So there's been a lot of hours just to try and make it work, and trying to get this packaged in a Capri has just been a nightmare. So seeing it come together, it still hasn't sunk in yet. So seeing it come together now, it's amazing. So
let's have a look. I'll spin around and take us around, Adam.
Yeah, cool. So what do you want to know? Fire away.
Let's start with combo and stuff like that. Engine, transmission.
So the engine is a 596 cube Brodix big block with profiler cylinder heads, built by Frank at Dandy Engines. We've got a set of Pulsar G57 style 98mm turbos on it. It's got a Mark Mickey transmission, 2-speed turbo 400 with a bolt together converter. We've got everything coupled together by a Haltech Nexus R5. Everything backwards of the pillar is controlled by a Haltech PD16. Everything forwards of the pillar is controlled by a Nexus R5. So headlights, shock travel sensors, indicators, all of our engine sensors, laser ride height, our parachute handle, all that kind of gear is all on the Nexus R5. Tail lights, brake lights, indicators at the rear, all of our CO2 for our chutes, our shock travel sensors at the rear, all that kind of gear is controlled by the PD16. So that's all controlled with a Haltech CAN keypad, so it keeps it super easy to use, I guess you can say. We've got the IC7 display in it, which obviously gives us every bit of data that we want. We can flick through screens. We've got the MPI steering wheel on a Woodward steering column. We couldn't fit the pedals up underneath the dash in this combo, so we went to a Tilton floor-mounted pedal box in this, which gives us dual master cylinders, one front, one rear, plus accelerator cable. So that all come up really nice. Everything's done in-house at MPW Performance. So we've done all of the fab work, all of the sheet metal on the body, cage, the floor pans, everything in-house, wiring, and then we got Cameron Wood at Rosebud Panels to do all of the paint work on it. So the paint is a Hammer Coatings custom blue mix. It's not a candy, it's just a metallic, but it ended up looking like a candy.
Mate, it looks spectacular. It wouldn't be something you'd see dissimilar in a top 60 haul or a top 20 paint job at a car show. I'm not far from a car judge, believe me. If they let me judge the cars, all the Commodores would win. But nonetheless, let's just have a little walk around the back, Adam, I reckon. Like, look how fat and low. That's probably part of the plan. I know it's got to go good and look good. I've seen a few of your cars before. So
this is its actual ride height. We haven't slammed it for the show. This is its ride height. That's its small tyre, believe it or not, which is a 315/60/15, and then we fit a big tyre slick underneath it as well. So when we built the car, we wanted it to be good for radial and no prep, hence the big tyre underneath it. So
too good. How excited are you to we might walk around the back, just have a bit of a look back here, but how excited are you to drive this car? Like, it's fun. It's fun putting it together, or you look more excited to like?
Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to driving it. It's going to be a wild ride, and that's my jam. So I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest with you.
When do you think you have the first hit?
Look, the car's ready to go. I've got to get it back to the shop, put a belly pan on it, put some methanol in it and get it on the dyno. So we've just put a base tune to move it around. So we'll get it back, we'll tune it, and I'm hoping to be out within kind of 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks on a track testing it out. So
yeah, cool. Do you reckon you could show us inside the door?
Yeah.
Like I was saying before, like there's some real detail in here, like it's absolutely unbelievable.
And it's a street car as well. So it's a registered street car. It's actually aspirated on the street, so we remove J-pipes, which means that the turbos are just glorified air filters after that. They just sit there. We run through an aspirated exhaust system, and yeah, so we wanted to keep it as comfortable as we could. So it's carpet, it's trimmed, it's suede, it's got cup holders, it's indicators, everything you need.
So good, and room for two. It's definitely.
Well, depending on how much you like your kids, they could go on the parcel shelf or something. But
good shelf on the back. This colour, did it come about something you picked or something you had recommended?
So I had Hammer Coatings recommended to me by the painter, Cameron, and when I started going through their stuff, they sent us over heaps of different samples, and my kids chose the colour.
There you go.
So that's the best thing about that as well.
Following some of your socials online, I see this car really is a family affair. You know, this is a wife and kids and, you know, husband built.
Yeah.
And, you know, no doubt the workshop as well. But
yeah, look, the boys
in.
at the workshop, hands down, always help. Don't get me wrong there. We've got a really good team that help each other out. But my wife made the floor pans in this. The kids helped her. They cut out all the tin work for the boot. It's something that they hadn't done before, so a bit of guidance, and yeah, it was a real family affair.
How good.
She's kicking about here somewhere, hiding from the camera, I think.
Yeah, no doubt, standing back, if you know, enjoying the fruits of all the labour that everybody's put in. We might walk around the other side at the front just to have another look at a bit of a different angle. Tell us a little bit about where the car maybe came from and, like, you know, what kind of condition it was in, because what we see now isn't, you know, it doesn't represent.
So we bought the car as a shell, but it was an engineered big block. So as we got it, we basically tore it down and started again. We thought that it was a really clean example of a Capri until we got it home and started stripping the paint off of it, and it was just full of filler and holes. So we ended up pulling everything apart, had to rebuild quarters on it. There was over 50 mil of bog in the left-hand rear quarter, so we had to do all the tin work and everything on that. And then, yeah, as I say, it was then shipped off to Rosebud Panels, and Cameron down there got it to where you see it today. And not only did he get it to where you see it today, he had heaps of time. I think he had the whole month of April to do it. So he did the whole lot in just over 4 weeks. So.
You were saying just to me, just off camera before that, replace the rain gutters, that looked so smick like.
Yeah, well, when I got it, the rain gutters were all bashed in and everything, and I think without them, a Capri doesn't look like a Capri.
Yeah.
So even down to the wheel arch, we wanted to keep the factory shape of the wheel arch as well. We see a lot of different things done to Capris. The bonnet, Jake at Street Class Fiberglass nailed that. He made a couple of different scoops for it until we got what we wanted, which was basically the GT version lifted up.
Yeah, we'll just have a bit of a look.
And it folds back at the back again. I've just never been a fan of big reverse cows that sit really high at the back when we don't need the room there. So he knocked that out of the park as well.
Tell us a bit about the inspiration behind the number plates.
So I've got No Show, which was the VT Club Sport. I've got All Show, which is my Group A. And a lot of people said to me, oh, All Show's not really a street car. And believe me, that has the dog, the kids, everything in it, that car. So I thought, I'll show you what borderline not a street car is. And this thing come about, hence Strip Show. Steel bonnet, steel roof and quarters, steel doors, steel everything except for bumpers. And we just put a fatty in the front and it's as street car as we can get.
Would it be fair to say this is a showcase of the strengths of MPW?
Well, that's what this was all about. Over COVID, we actually reinvested a lot of money back into the factory, into tooling. So we've got chassis benches, new weld benches, CNCs, 3D scanners, basically everything that we need to do all of this in-house. Hence why we went front to back and built a whole car.
Yeah, I mean, standing here today, I know that the colour's been a bit of a secret and the car's sort of, I heard before when it got pushed in, even though it's set up today in the trade hall, everybody came running, mate.
Yeah, look, we drove it in here, and that's another thing for me. I set an unrealistic deadline to actually drive this car in here, because for me, I'm not a show car guy. I'm a car guy, so this had to drive in here, and we managed to achieve that. So,
knowing you though, mate, I know you like nice things. You couldn't have it.
I definitely like nice things. I probably shouldn't own nice things. We'll have a look at this in 6 months and see how it looks. But it's, yeah, as I say, it has to be functional. So this is function over anything else.
Yeah. Drag strip. I mean, that first time we talked about just a second ago, how excited you are for that. How important is it to run the numbers in this car rather than just being the build? Are you after chasing a number? We don't have to talk about the number, but...
Look, eventually I want to set a hard target to hit. It's a 100-inch wheelbase, so it's going to be a handful, and it's definitely going to teach us a lot getting it down the track. But I would like to go 650 at over 200 mile an hour is where I'm at. I want to run bottom fours. Anything more is a bonus. We've definitely got the power there to do it. We just have to have the chassis and everything work with it. So.
And with driving on the street, you do a bit of no prep, bit of fun stuff like that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That's why it's got a big tyre.
Yeah.
So I want to do fun stuff like that, head up to Sydney and do some McGups events and whatnot. I would like to, when MPK's back over here, be able to race that. Hence why we've set it up for both.
Yeah. Can you take us to the driver's compartment?
Yep.
For a sec? That was very serious, me calling it the driver's compartment, but give us a bit of a...
That is the most professional I have ever heard you be.
in my life. Give us a bit of a... That's a, you know, really serious setup. You've done it for... Everything has like a degree of like, you know, the steering wheel's up at this height, everything's there.
Yeah, so everything had to fit, and for no other reason but it's the only place it fits.
Yeah.
It's trying to package everything in this is just impossible. So you have a look at even false floors over pedal mounted floor boxes, being able to think if we have a brake failure, we don't want to be hitting firewalls, we want to be able to get maximum throw out of it, so it can only really go in one place. Cup holders where we can still reach them with a seatbelt or harness on. The shifter, I like being uptight, so when I'm actually in this, the steering wheel's in a perfect location, it's comfortable, and the shifter is where I'm comfortable pushing it. All of my shifters I've always had on an angle, so I just find it more comfortable. Parachutes up the top, so just everything's within reach of having a harness on.
Fair to say you're going, you know, aiming for a target of, you know, when it gets pretty serious at the fast end of the track, ergonomics, you know, plays a big part in you feeling comfortable.
Well, yeah, you have to be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't want a car that rattles and bangs and clangs either, so hence no steel
Especially
door cards.
The opportunity that you've got, you've built this basically from scratch.
Yeah, well,
you can make
from
it the way you want. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's why we wanted to trim it. That's why we wanted carpet. That's why we just wanted creature comforts, really. So
awesome. Give us a bit of info about these tennis balls, mate.
So that is Chris Cuttajar at his finest. He rocked up here with some bright yellow balls to add to the unveil. And everyone that's come past sees a $500,000 brand new car sitting here and comments on the balls over everything else. But no, it's, yeah.
There you go.
It all adds to it, doesn't it?
That's it. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate your time learning about the car. You can read the article on Performance Garage if you want to know more about all the setup and stuff like that. Appreciate your time. Thanks again, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
How good of Adam to take us around Strip Show. He's got All Show, which is another crazy car, and this car here now, what a build it's been. I know they've built it in what relatively is a pretty quick time period, but the quality, mate, of this car, like you said, it was stripped it back, took all the bog out, and it was pretty garbage, and now it's turned into this. He was just telling me that the wheel arches have all been like, they did a 3D scan to get them so that they look like the factory wheel arch when they cut and put together like that. Don't know, man. What else can you say?